If I look a little dark, it's because it's really hot. So I don't want to open my blinds because then it'll let in the hot air. So, plus you can't see any of my blemishes, so it's a win-win. Hey guys, if you don't already know, my name is Emily Dominguez, and today's video, if you read the title, will be on the conspiracy theory that Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is not based on the Saw franchise, obviously, because the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory came out like years before Saw was even like thought of, let alone like produced and made and stuff like that. But it's just like a theory. So I'm getting this theory off of Showerthoughts on Reddit. I will link them down below so you guys can go ahead and read this thread if you guys choose to do that. But I will go through the liberty of reading it to you guys and explaining my opinions on whether or not I believe this is true. Let's get into this. Okay, so the children are systematically killed by a crazed madman through intricate traps. This is true, which compares to Saw. If you haven't seen Saw, first of all, they're amazing. I'm a huge fan of the Saw franchise. There might be some spoilers in here, so just a warning. Only one child makes it out alive, even though he was very nearly killed by the madman, only to end up becoming the psychopath's protege. Which, if you have seen the psychopath, if you have seen the Saw franchise, you do know that he does have 3 to 4 proteges, especially if you saw the last one, so it adds up. I know Wonka tells the audience they'll all be fine, but let's take a look at that ourselves and apply some basic logic also. Like the serial killer in the 7, they all represent one of the 7 deadly sins. So let's get started. Okay, so number 1, Augustus Gloop. Was that his name? Floop? Augustus Gloop? No, it's Gloop. So Augustus Gloop, if you don't know who he is, this is what he looks like. I'm only going to be alluding to the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because the original scares me. Okay, so the fat German kid is eliminated first. He represents gluttony. I think you mean fucking gluttony, you idiot. Wonka tells us he'll be just fine. However, the child cannot swim. He is deprived of oxygen while underneath the chocolate. When they see him in a vacuum tube, which is applying extreme suction, thereby pulling all of the air from his lungs, which we clearly see. On top of this, the roar in there is likely deafening, no different than the tube of your home vacuum, which scares dogs, and I hate. So, at the best, this kid is going to have permanent brain damage from the lack of oxygen and hearing loss. That's even assuming there's a fat kid emergency release somewhere in the line, which, considering Wonka's love of cheap midget slave labor, even if the building was designed to have such a safety measure, it is unlikely that it would be large enough to easily remove Mr. Gloop in time to perform life-saving first aid. More than likely, the line ends on an assembly line somewhere, with the chocolate being squirted out at the end of a tube through a hole no larger than a finger. Since Wonka clearly decided to cut corners and use the kazoo method of factory communication rather than actual walkie-talkies, and the fact that Mr. Gloop is traveling at a large rate of speed, even if there is a midget release valve, no Oompa Loompa is going to anticipate the little fat German kid in the chocolate pipes until he gets to a bottleneck or the end of the line. We don't see a chocolate pipe anywhere else in the factory, which means it probably runs between the walls and floors, which means if it bottlenecks anywhere, there's no Oompa Loompa to get out Gloop until well after he's dead. So that's the first death. Yeah, the original is very similar to the remake, but like if you watch the original is like secretly creepy. The remake, it's kind of obvious that it's creepy because freaking Johnny Depp is a king, but the original is just like very off-putting. I don't know. I don't like watching the original. It's freaking weird. Okay, so next we have the bratty girl, which is Veruca's Salt, if I'm not mistaken, even though I thought Violet died. Well, I thought Violet was the second one, but I don't really remember the original. I tried not to watch it. But, so next we have the bratty girl, which is Veruca's Salt. Even assuming Wonka didn't burn the girl alive, the last note she sings in her number gives us an idea of the distance in which she fell. I'm no scientist, but some back-of-the-envelope calculation tells me that she fell 4 to 5 stories onto solid gold, and possibly, never confirmed, only assumed, chocolate eggs. 4 to 5 story falls are often deadly. In fact, she likely falls far further than that, since we hear her last scream but never hear her land. Again, this is assuming that Wonka tells us the truth, which, he's a creepy man. Again, this is assuming, oh, fuck. There's no way around this. If the girl somehow isn't dead, since Wonka conveniently forgets that gravity can kill as easily as fire, she's going to live the rest of her life eating through a straw as a quadriplegic after a golden egg broke her 5-story fall and snapped her vertebrae. This person is not holding any punches. By the way, she is Sloth, not Greek. Okay, so she represents Sloth with, what the fuck is Sloth? What does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Oh, so it's like being lazy is what? Yeah, because she is lazy in the sense that she doesn't want to do anything herself. She just wants everything. So I get that. Makes sense. Okay, so number 3 is Violet Beauregarde, which is the girl who smacks gum and doesn't shut the hell up. She represents greed. She yanks away anything that she wants. She begins blowing up like a balloon and turning purple. They say, Violet, you're turning violet. And Wonka plays it off as if she's full of juice. Well, that makes sense because it's not there. This freaking grammar pisses me off. Because there's nothing in medicine where parts of someone's body swell up and turn purple. Wrap a rubber band around your finger and leave it for a second. If you think that's blueberry juice, then I've got a bridge in Germany to sell you. Yeah, because I don't know if you guys have done that. Everyone has. Like, just when you lose blood circulation, is that what it's called? If you lose blood circulation, you turn purple, and you're not gonna freaking juice your hand like a goat. So when they say juice her, there's a term for that. It's called bloodletting. The simple fact of the matter is that almost never works out for anyone. I would say that best case for this girl is that all her limbs have to be removed to prevent necrosis from spreading, and she has a lot of extra skin, but we clearly see her face and chest swell up and change color. There's no way around it. She's dead. Even in Wonka world, they're still going to have to perform horrible acts of torture on her to remove the juice. So that's 3 down. Next is Mike Teevee, who represents pride. He is shrunk down to the size of a Kit Kat. Wonka's solution, stretch him. Yeah, kids are stretchy, he'll be fine. Wonka, by the way, appears to think that every kid could go toe-to-toe with Yao Ming or Shaq if they simply try to stretch a bit. Yeah, no. Even if he's actually going to try and not simply have some Oompa Loompa stomp on him and throw the body into the incinerator with the others, you're still talking about a real thing called drawing a quarter, which is a form of torture. It kills you by ripping your limbs from their socket and letting you bleed out. This kid is dead, period. Holy crap. Not just that, in the medieval times, didn't they used to like stretch people as a form of torture and death? The medieval times was a wild time. I'm gonna make a video on medieval forms of torture, because hell yeah, I know you want to watch that. You don't have to tell me. So at no point do we ever actually hear what Wonka says to the Oompa Loompas, because he's telling them where to take the parents to dispose of the witnesses without other guests seeing. How do we know that these kids aren't getting saved? The bubble room of blood splatter. That's how. Remember when Charlie and his grandpa drank the conveniently placed drink that made you float? That was completely and utterly both unprotected and invitingly mysterious in the room with the giant death fan. What Oompa Loompa was there to save them? If you have both a room with a huge ventilation fan that could potentially decapitate someone and an unmarked bottle of liquid to make someone float uncontrollably, there's literally only one reason to keep them both in the same room. You intend to kill someone. If Grandpa Joe hadn't picked that exact moment to start burping, they would have been blood on the fan. You know it, I know it, the audience knows it. They both laugh it off because by this point they've basically got Stockholm Syndrome. If someone bought you a coffee, let you drink the whole thing, then told you to put cyanide in it, and you by sheer dumb luck survive, you would not continue to both trust that person and think they were sane. So Willy Wonka is a serial killer, and everyone in the audience cheered for him as he blatantly killed 4 children and their parents before brainwashing a 5th child to do the same. And the cycle never ends. So that is the conspiracy theory and proof as to why Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is... it's crazy. It's freaking scary. And now I want to watch the original again, but Gene Wilder, he's great at playing clown creepy, which I freaking hate clowns. Like, oh my god. Clown creepy is a different kind of creepy in my opinion. It's when like you're so creepy because you're too happy and like I know what you're thinking inside. You're trying to kill me, you know? That was the conspiracy theory of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more of these kinds of threads, which I will be doing. I will also be looking into medieval torture devices because that stuff is crazy. They used to like, and like this is proven, like they used to put people not in an oven but a metal like device and like lock them in in there and put a fire underneath and like, ooh, that shit's crazy. Comment down below if you also believe in this conspiracy theory. I believe in almost every single conspiracy theory because people are freaking scary. So if you did like this video, please like and subscribe. Share with your friends if you like me. What's up? Good luck to you out there in the world, because you can't trust anybody, not even a freaking every single word that I was gonna say. I was gonna say sugar man. I was gonna say candy man. Yeah, this isn't going anywhere well. Thanks for watching and goodbye.